Hello everyone and welcome to Book Chats. My name's Jesus Villegas, only the coolest librarian here in the Houston Public Library. The month of November is Native American Heritage Month, first designated by presidential proclamation in 1990 as National American Indian Heritage Month, and has been celebrated since under variants of the name including National American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month, and the current widely used Native American Heritage Month. The purpose of this month is to celebrate and honor the significant contributions the first Americans made to the establishment and growth of the United States and their unique cultural contributions through art, music, and yes, books. So I'm very excited to share with you some fantastic fictional titles by Native American authors, which are great reads in November or really any other time of the year, because it's never a bad time for a good book. So our first book is the 2018 mega hit There There by Tommy Orange. Written in multiple voices and perspectives, the novel follows 12 characters as they all journey to the upcoming Big Oakland Powwow. The title is a play on the quote from Gertrude Stein when discussing her childhood home of Oakland, California, in which she declared, "There's no there. The idea that the home she once knew had changed so much it was unrecognizable to her, as is the United States compared to what it once was for the ancestors of Orange's characters. Everyone in the book may all be headed to the same place, but they all have very different motivations for their journey, and many are grappling with legacies of abuse, addictions, suicides, and they're trying to answer for themselves profound questions of identity about what it means to be urban Indians, not connected to tribes or reservations, constantly battling assumptions of stereotypes, worrying about being Indian enough, trying to connect to a history and heritage that some of them only know through books or third-hand stories. This balancing act is best summed up by one of the characters, Orville Redfeather, who plans to participate in the traditional dances at the powwow that he learned by watching YouTube videos. So the balancing act of the different voices and points of view is incredibly done. Little snapshots that come together to form a big picture. The writing is fast-paced but never sacrificing character development or genuine emotions to move the plot along. So this is a great read-alike for titles for fans of other multiple perspective works such as The Cast by Amy Blumenfield, in which a group of high school friends reunite to cheer up their cancer-stricken former classmate. Or the recently released The Glass Hotel by Emily Mandel, in which a number of people experience the ripple effects of a massive financial fraud scheme. Tommy Orange himself grew up in Oakland and is an enrolled member of the Cheyenne and Arapaho Nations. This is his first novel and was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, in addition to winning a whole host of other awards and honors. For example, the LAA Notable Books, Booklist Editor's Choice, New York Times Notable Books, Library Journal's Best Books, the list goes on. Truly, he is a talent to watch. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. In this horror novel, published in 2020, 4 Native American men, now adults, and having long left the Blackfoot Reservation that was their home, must confront a disturbing event from their past. A forbidden hunting trip that went horribly wrong, and they must battle a malevolent entity bent on revenge. This is another multiple perspective title and has a fabulously creepy and menacing tone with plenty of gore to go around. So probably not for the squeamish. Jones is able to do a lot with very little, as the writing style is spare, not overly descriptive, and not build up with endless build-up. With the themes of being stalked by menacing beings of the past and the ripple effects of childhood trauma, this is a fantastic read-alike for fans of Stephen King's It. Although it must be noted that Jones, who is, by the way, a native Texan and a graduate of Texas Tech University, go Cougs, takes a uniquely incredible personal and culturally specific spin on things. A member of the Blackfoot Nation himself and an author of over 20 titles, largely in the horror genre, although he also dabbles in science fiction and crime fiction, Jones often takes common horror tropes such as werewolves, vampires, vengeful spirits, and uses them as jumping points to reflect on themes of culture and identity, on what it means to be native in today's world, and the constant balancing act of tradition and modernity. It's not so much that the creatures stalking them that haunts our main characters, but their own conflicted feelings at leaving behind their reservation, the survival's guilt of all the loved ones lost who weren't lucky enough to avoid, as one character describes it, all the car crashes, jail time, alcoholism on their cultural dance card. The novel's title is a reference to a real-life American horror story and comes from the infamous quote from General Philip Sheridan that the only good Indian is a dead Indian. Sheridan spent decades of his career winning the West by killing the buffalo in an attempt to starve the native population and drive them to reservations, and led other dark marks in our nation's history, including the Battle of the Washita River in 1868, which many, justifiably so, classify as a massacre, as the casualties included unarmed women and children who were peacefully camping for the winter. The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. Set in the 1950s, this historical fiction title tells the story of Thomas Washoe, the Night Watchman of the title, who devotes himself to protecting the land and cultural identity of his Chippewa tribe's Turtle Mountain Reservation in North Dakota, as he fights a bill that threatens to eliminate the legal status of the tribe. Writing endless letters, raising funds, even testifying before Congress. His efforts, inspired by real events from the life of Erdrich's grandfather, are interspersed with stories of various characters living and working on the reservation. Some funny, some sad, but all conveying the high stakes of what this cultural death by pen stroke could have across the generations. This is Erdrich's 16th title, and she is truly at the top of her game with this deeply personal work. It's heartwarming, dramatic, and the ordinary man battling injustice and hardly bureaucracy plot has a decidedly cinematic feel. I mean, not many authors can make a letter writing campaign suspenseful. A writer who works for adults and children, Erdrich uses complex plots and an array of characters to draw readers into life in rural North Dakota and the rich cultural history of the tribes in that area. Her novels frequently touch on universal themes of love, friendship, and family dynamics, filtered through the sometimes painful legacy of the clash of Native Americans and European culture. Her writing has a strong sense of place, a deep reverence for the past, and often employs vivid descriptions, nonlinear storytelling, or touches upon magical realism. A great read-alike author for fans of Isabel Allende and Toni Morrison. Last, our final novel is an exciting debut crime fiction novel called Winter Couts by David Heska Wambley Wyden. We're introduced to Virgil Wounded Horse, a vigilante for hire, doing his best to protect the citizens of his Lakota reservation when the tribal police can't act and the federal government doesn't care to. He's recruited by his ex-girlfriend Marie, the one who got away. I mean, she got away because he let her go due to a drinking problem, and he had to help take the bad guys down. That's how he kind of excused it, because they were bringing heroin into the. Anyways, now sober and longing for redemption, Virgil's pulled into her mission and trying hard not to let himself fall for her again, since she's planning on leaving for medical school. Oh, the drama. This title is all you could want in a good crime fiction. Complicated characters, plenty of suspense to keep the pages turning, a compelling writing style that manages to be both gritty and lyrical. It's a uniquely native thriller that examines the broken criminal justice system on reservations, while also reflecting on native identity. This groundbreaking debut has gotten rave reviews from a plethora of publications, including the New York Times, Library Journal, and a Publisher's Weekly star review, with one review declaring the author a major new force in crime fiction, indigenous fiction, and American literature. Wow! So, you guys have any questions? You need help troubleshooting anything? Ask a friendly librarian through our chat services or telephone reference. And if all those awesome titles are still not enough, HPL is here for you. You can request a custom book list from us, and we'll send you a list of suggested titles based on your likes and interests. So how cool is that, right? Pretty cool? Well, this has been Book Chats. I'll see you guys next time.